If I tell you that the biggest problem in your life can actually become your biggest opportunity, would you believe it? Think about it. When you fail, when everything starts going against you, what do you usually do? Do you stop or do you fight back? Most people make the same mistake. They treat the obstacle like an enemy, but the truth is something completely different. The obstacle is the way. Welcome to Book Bites, a channel where we break down books into simple, powerful ideas so you can actually apply them in your life. Today, we're diving into a book that will completely change the way you look at problems. The obstacle is the way. In this series, we'll break down each chapter in a simple and practical way so you don't just listen, you actually implement. So, let's begin and discover how every problem can be turned into your strength. Chapter 1: The Discipline of Perception. In life, the biggest problem is usually not the situation itself, but the way we see that situation. Think about it. The same problem happens to two people. One person panics and thinks everything is over. The other person looks at the same situation calmly and says, "What can I learn from this?" The difference is not the situation. The difference is perception. The discipline of perception simply means looking at every problem with clarity and logic instead of emotion. Because when you make decisions in anger, fear, or stress, you are not seeing reality, you are seeing your fear. And fear always makes the situation feel bigger than it actually is. The most important lesson of this chapter is do not immediately label any problem as good or bad. First, just observe it, like an outsider would, without judgment. Because when you're emotionally attached, you overreact, and overreaction often leads to wrong decisions. But when you stay calm, you gain clarity, and clarity is power. Stoic philosophy has a simple rule. You cannot always control the situation, but you can control how you think about it. True strength is not avoiding problems. True strength is controlling how you see them. If you discipline your perception, the same problem stops being a weakness and becomes training. And that is where transformation begins, when you start seeing obstacles not as enemies, but teachers. Chapter 2: Recognize your power. Most people make the biggest mistake in life. They believe they have no power. They feel the situation is not in their control, so they assume they are helpless. But the truth is something very different. Your real control is never over the situation. Your control is always over your thinking and your reaction. The problem is not outside. The problem is the interpretation happening inside your mind. Think about it. The same failure happens to two people. One says, "I am finished." The other says, "What can I improve?" Same situation, completely different outcomes. Because power is not in the situation, power is in the response. The core lesson of this chapter is simple. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can always decide what it means. And that is your greatest strength. Once you accept that I cannot control everything, you reach another powerful realization. But I can control my actions and my thoughts. And at that point, you shift from a victim mindset to a creator mindset. Most people blame life, luck, people, circumstances, but powerful people upgrade their thinking because they understand power is not outside. Power is in your response. And once you learn to control your thinking, no situation can break you mentally. You stop being a slave to circumstances and become the master of your reaction. Chapter 3: Steady your nerves. When pressure comes in life, the first thing that breaks is not the situation, it is your mind. And this is where it is decided whether you will lose or you will handle it. Steady your nerves simply means no matter how much chaos is happening, you stay in control of yourself. Think about an emergency situation. One person panics, runs around and becomes confused in decision-making. The other person stays calm, pauses, and analyzes the situation. The difference is not talent. The difference is panic versus calm, because panic always makes the problem look bigger, and a calm mind makes the problem smaller and solvable. The core idea of this chapter is this: when you are nervous, you cannot think clearly, and when you cannot think clearly, you make bad decisions. That is why the most important skill is this: staying emotionally steady under pressure. Life will repeatedly put you in moments where everything feels fast and overwhelming. In those moments, your goal is not to instantly solve everything. Your goal is to stabilize yourself first, because when you are stable, only then can you make smart decisions. And here is an important truth: problems are not as dangerous as they feel during panic. Most of the time, fear exaggerates everything, and overthinking makes you weak. Stoic mindset teaches this: do not let external chaos become internal chaos. If you learn to steady your nerves, even the toughest moments in life cannot break you. You do not react, you respond, and that is what makes you stronger than the average person. Chapter 4. Control your emotions. We all like to believe that we are in control of our emotions, but the truth is, most of the time, our emotions are controlling us. Anger, fear, frustration, these feel like temporary feelings, but when it comes to decision-making, they cause the most damage. Think about it. Someone says something hurtful to you. Your instant reaction is anger, replying back, arguing, but later you realize, I overreacted. That is the trap of emotions. The core lesson of this chapter is simple. Feel your emotions, but do not act according to them, because the strongest emotions in the moment often lead to the weakest decisions. Fear stops you, anger blinds you, frustration makes you impatient, and impatience is one of the biggest enemies of growth. Stoic thinking teaches us this simple truth: your emotions can guide you, but they should not drive you. Emotions are signals, but the steering wheel must stay in the hands of logic. The difference between a strong person and a weak person is simple. A weak person reacts based on emotion. A strong person observes the emotion and then chooses how to respond. If you want control over your life, you must first learn to control your reactions. Because when emotions drive you, you are not making decisions, you are reacting. And reactions are short-term, but control creates long-term success. So the next time you feel anger or fear, don't act immediately. Pause, observe, and bring yourself back into control. Because real strength is not about not feeling emotions. Real strength is deciding what to do with them. Chapter 5. Alter your perspective. In life, the same situation can be seen in completely opposite ways by two different people. For one person, the same problem feels like the end of the world. For another person, the same problem becomes an opportunity. The difference is not the situation. The difference is only perspective. The core lesson of this chapter is: the way you see an obstacle decides whether it breaks you or builds you. Most of the time, we look at our problems from a negative angle. Why is this happening to me? Why am I the one suffering? But if you shift your perspective even slightly, you start seeing hidden opportunities inside the same situation. Take failure, for example. For one person, failure means I cannot do this. For another person, failure means what do I need to improve? Same event, different meaning, and meaning is what creates emotion. Stoic thinking teaches this simple truth: You cannot change reality, but you can always change the way you see it. When you change your perspective, the situation stays the same, but its impact changes. What once felt like a burden starts feeling like training. And when you start seeing problems as training, you stop fearing them. That is why strong people do not turn situations into curses, they turn them into lessons, because they understand every obstacle in life carries a message of growth. If you learn to change your perspective, no problem in your life becomes permanent weakness. It becomes a temporary challenge that is shaping you into someone stronger. Chapter 6. Is it up to you? In life, we often try to control everything around us. But the truth is, not everything is in your control. And this creates confusion, which creates stress. The simple but powerful question of this chapter is this up to you? If the answer is yes, then work on it. If the answer is no, then accept it and move on. It is that simple. But the problem is, we waste energy on things we cannot change, like what other people think, or what went wrong in the past, or what will happen in the future. None of these are in your control. You can only control your thinking, your actions, and your decisions. And when you bring this clarity into your mind becomes free. Because the main cause of stress is the illusion of control. When you think, I can handle everything, but in reality, you cannot, that is when frustration starts. Stoic mindset teaches this simple truth. Put your energy only into what is in your control. The difference between a powerful person and a confused person is simple. A confused person tries to control everything. A powerful person controls only what matters, and everything else they accept. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is clarity. Because when you accept that some things are not in your control, you stop fighting them. And when you stop fighting, you can finally focus your energy where it actually creates results. So in every situation, just ask, is it up to me? If yes, move. If no, let go.
Chapter 7. Living in the present moment. We all live inside a strange trap. Either we are stuck in the past, or we are worried about the future. And in between all of this, we completely miss the present. The core lesson of this chapter is very simple. The only now is real. The past is already gone. You cannot change it. The future is not here yet. You cannot control it. But in between these two, we keep wasting our present energy. Think about it. You are doing something right now, but your mind is stuck in an old mistake or running toward a future fear. And the result? You neither fix the past nor perform well in the present. Stoic thinking teaches this simple truth. The only moment that matters is the one in your hands right now. When you stay present, you think more clearly, make better decisions, and feel less stress. Because most stress comes from time travel, when your mind goes into the past or future. A strong person has one identity. They give full focus to what is happening right now. No matter how difficult the situation is, they do not let their attention scatter. And this focus is what makes you powerful. Because the present moment is the only place where action is possible. The past has only regret. The future has only imagination. But the present is reality. If you want to improve your life, you must learn to respect the present by ignoring distractions, by stopping overthinking, and by constantly returning to now. Because people who learn to live in the present experience life more deeply and build it more effectively.
Chapter 8. Thinking differently. Most people, when a problem comes up, they start thinking in only one way. How do I end this? But that is exactly where the problem begins. Because when you keep thinking in the same way, you only find the same solutions, the ones that have already failed. The core lesson of this chapter is, if the situation is not changing, change your thinking. Every person tries to escape problems, but some people turn the same problems into advantages. The difference is their thinking pattern. Think about it. When a door is closed, most people keep trying to break the same door again and again, but a smart person steps back and looks for another way. And this is the core of this mindset: think differently. In Stoic thinking, an obstacle is not just a blockage. An obstacle is a hidden path. People who only see problems get stuck, but people who see possibilities grow. Often the solution is exactly where you stop looking. That is why you must challenge your default thinking. Can I look at this situation from another angle? Because when you change your perspective, the size of the problem also changes. What once felt impossible suddenly starts feeling manageable. And when you learn to think differently, you don't just solve problems, you move ahead of them. Because while most people think in the same direction, winners are the ones who are willing to look in the opposite direction too. Chapter 9: The Discipline of Action. So far, you have learned how to see problems, but just seeing things does not change anything. The core truth of this chapter is very direct. Thinking is important, but action is what changes everything. Most people keep planning, keep overthinking, but they never execute. And that is the difference between success and failure. Stoic thinking says this clearly: knowledge is useless until you act on it. Think about it. You know you should exercise, but if you only think about it and never start, your body will never change. The same applies to life. Delaying action, delaying progress. The simple rule of this chapter is discipline of action. It means you must do something in every situation, even if it is a small step, because action brings clarity. When you move, you understand what works and what doesn't. But when you stay still, confusion increases. The difference between a strong person and an average person is simple. An average person waits for the perfect timing. A strong person starts even in imperfect conditions, because they know this truth: without action, nothing is real. And what is the most dangerous thing? Just thinking and never starting. So whenever you feel I am not ready or it's not the right time yet, remember this: don't wait to be ready. Start and become ready. Because discipline is not about motivation. Discipline is about doing the work, whether you feel like it or not. And once you learn to take action, you stop being an observer of your life and become the builder of it. Chapter 10: Get moving. Most people in life chase only one thing: the perfect moment. When everything becomes right, then I will start. When confidence comes, then I will act. When fear disappears, then I will move. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. The simple lesson of this chapter is get moving. Start, even if the situation is imperfect, even if you don't feel ready. Because clarity does not come before action. Clarity comes after action. Think about it. One person keeps planning endlessly, and another person starts even with a little fear. Slowly, that imperfect start becomes a strong system. Stoic mindset teaches this. You don't grow by waiting, you grow by moving. When you stay still, fear increases. When you move, fear decreases. Because fear is not broken by thinking, fear is broken by action. Even a small step matters because it changes direction, and direction decides destiny. Most people ask, when will I take the big step? But winners ask, what small step can I take today? And those small steps eventually create big results. So remember, starting is more important than being perfect. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to see the next step. Because life is not understood by thinking, life is understood by moving. And when you move, life itself shows you the next direction. Chapter 11: Practice persistence. Starting something is easy, but continuing it is the hardest part. Most people start, but after a few days, they stop. And this is where the difference begins between average people and successful people. The core lesson of this chapter is, success is not about talent. It is about consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but persistence is what keeps you moving forward. Think about it. One person improves just 1% every day, and another person works only when they feel like it. Over time, those small daily efforts create massive results. Stoic mindset says this: you don't need to be perfect every day. You just need to be present every day. Because progress is not built in one day. Progress is built through daily repetition. When you don't quit, you start changing your identity. You go from a person who tries to a person who does. And one more important thing, slow progress is still progress. Most people quit because they don't see fast results, but winners trust invisible growth. Because persistence means whether you see results or not, you keep working. And when you stay consistent, even luck starts working in your favor. So remember, Motivation gets you started, but persistence takes you to the finish line, and the people who quit in the middle never realize how close they were to their breakthrough. Chapter 12. Iterate. Most people believe that the first attempt should be perfect, and if it is not perfect, they assume, this is not for me. But reality is completely different. Success does not come from a single try. Success comes from iteration. The core idea of this chapter is iterate. It means try, fail, learn, and then try again in a better way. Think about it. If you are building an app, the first version will not be perfect. There will be bugs and mistakes, but with every version, it keeps getting better. The same happens in life. Your first plan might fail, but that failure shows you what does not work. And when you improve it, that is where real growth happens. Stoic mindset says this clearly. Failure is not the end. Failure is feedback. Most people treat failure as a stop sign, but winners treat it as a signal to change direction. And that is where real progress begins, because every attempt makes you a little smarter, a little more experienced, and a little stronger. One important truth: the first try is never the best. The best is the improved try. So if something is not working, don't stop, refine it. Iteration means same goal, better method. And once you learn to iterate, you stop fearing failure and you start using failure. And that is what makes you unstoppable. Chapter 13. Follow the process. Most people make the same mistake in life again and again. They only focus on the result. I want success. I want fast results. But the problem is, when you only focus on the result, you ignore the process. And without the process, results are never stable. The core lesson of this chapter is, success does not come from the result, it comes from the process. Think about it. A student who only wants to pass the exam, but does not follow the study process. And another student who studies a little every day, consistently, without shortcuts, without pressure. Over time, the student who follows the process wins. Stoic mindset teaches this. You should not focus on what you cannot control. You should focus on your actions, because the result is not in your control, but the process is. When you follow the process, the result naturally follows. But when you abandon the process and chase only the result, you end up frustrated because you want output without input. So remember, daily discipline is real success. Small daily efforts build a system, and that system creates stable success, not random success. One more important thing, the process may feel boring, but it is powerful, because what you repeat every day becomes your identity. If you learn to respect the process, you don't need external validation. You already know you are moving in the right direction, and when the direction is right, the results eventually come. Chapter 14. Do your job. Do it right. In life, most people are not serious about their work. They just do the task, but they don't do it properly. And this is where the difference begins. The core lesson of this chapter is, whatever is in your hands, do it with full honesty and full focus. No matter how big or small the task is, no matter if someone is watching or not, your standard should remain the same. Think about it. One person just passes time and does the bare minimum, and another person treats every task seriously. Over time, that serious person builds a strong identity. Stoic thinking says this: you only control your effort, not the result. That is why your effort should never be half-hearted. Most people look for shortcuts, quick success, easy routes, less effort. But the reality is, shortcuts may move you ahead temporarily, but in the long term, they make you weak. One important truth: discipline is when you do the right thing even when no one is watching, because true character is revealed when there is no accountability. If you do your work honestly, you don't need external validation. You already know you gave your 100%. And when you learn to bring excellence into every task, even small things start making you stronger. Because life follows one simple rule: the way you do your work is the way you become. So give importance to every task, because every task is shaping you. And when you follow do your job, do it right, you don't just complete work, you build your identity. Chapter 15. What's right is what works. Sometimes in life, we get so stuck in our own thinking, ego, and beliefs that we ignore what is actually working, just because it doesn't feel perfect or ideal. The core lesson of this chapter is, what works is what is right. It means you accept reality, not just your assumptions. Think about it. You are trying to solve a problem using one method, but it keeps failing again and again. And there is another simple method that actually works, but you ignore it because it feels too basic. That is where ego stops you. Stoic thinking says this: truth is not judged by theory, it is judged by results. If a method is producing results, then accepting it is intelligence. Most people protect their ideas, but ignore their progress. But powerful people remove ego and focus on one thing: what is working, and they repeat it, refine it, and master it. So remember, right and wrong are not judged by theory. They are judged by results. If something is helping you grow, improve, and move forward, then that is the right direction. And if something is keeping you confused or stuck, then no matter how smart it looks, it is not working. The simple takeaway of this chapter is, drop ego, follow results. And when you learn to focus only on reality, you make faster decisions, better choices, and avoid unnecessary struggle. Chapter 16, In Praise of the Flank Attack. In life, we often try to solve problems in a very direct way, like pushing the same door again and again, even when it is clearly not opening. But sometimes the direct approach is not the right approach. The core lesson of this chapter is, not every problem has a straight solution. Sometimes you need a side approach. This is called a flank attack. Think about it. A path is blocked and you keep trying to break through it. You get tired, frustrated, and still there is no result. But a smart person stops for a moment and thinks, is there another way? And then they find a side path. Stoic mindset teaches this. Resistance does not mean stop. It means change your approach. Most people keep repeating the same method until it works, but winners adjust their strategy. And this flexibility is what makes you strong, because life does not follow fixed rules. Life keeps changing constantly. That is why you should not be rigid. You should be adaptable. An important truth: sometimes victory does not come from direct effort. It comes from the smarter move. And when you learn to think sideways, you don't just work hard, you also work smart. And this combination makes you unstoppable. Chapter 17, The Discipline of the Will. So far, you have learned how to see problems and how to handle them. But there comes a phase in life where nothing is in your control. Not the situation, not the outcome, nothing. And that is where your willpower gets tested. The core lesson of this chapter is, when the outside world is breaking you, your inner strength is what saves you. Think about a time when everything is going wrong. Plans are failing, results are not coming, and motivation is zero. At such a time, the person who gives up loses, but the person who stays steady from within survives. Stoic mindset teaches this. You cannot control the situation, but you can control your endurance. Will is not just about being strong. Will means not breaking. Because life will give you moments where everything feels over, but those exact moments build your strength. Most people see difficult times as punishment, but strong people see them as training. And that is what takes you to the next level. When you don't give up, you are already moving toward victory. So remember, motivation will disappear, energy will go down, but will is your inner decision to not stop. And when you discipline your will, no situation in the world can permanently break you. Chapter 18, Build Your Inner Citadel. In life, the biggest instability is not outside, it is inside. People don't break because of situations. They break because they lose their inner stability. The core lesson of this chapter is, you must build a place inside yourself that no external chaos can disturb. This is called an inner citadel. Think about it. No matter how chaotic the world becomes, no matter what people say, no matter how many problems increase, there is still a calm space inside you where you are safe. That is real strength. Stoic mindset teaches this. If you can control your mind, you can handle anything in the world. Most people search for peace outside, in success, in people, in approval. But until peace exists inside, nothing outside can give you permanent peace. That is why building your inner system is important. A mindset where you are not a slave to reactions. You are an observer of your thoughts. When you are strong internally, every external problem starts to feel manageable because you know one thing: I will not collapse, and that assurance makes you fearless. The simple truth of this chapter is, you cannot control the world, but you can train your inner world. And when you build your inner citadel, you stay stable even in external chaos, and that stability makes you unstoppable. Chapter 19: Anticipation. Most people in life only want to think positively, but the problem is, when reality hits, they are not mentally prepared. The core idea of this chapter is a little different. Sometimes thinking about the worst-case scenario is also a form of strength. This is called anticipation. It means you prepare your mind in advance for how you will respond if something goes wrong. Think about it. You start an important task, and you only imagine success. If something unexpected goes wrong, you collapse mentally. But if you already think, if I fail, what will I do? Then you are mentally prepared. Stoic mindset teaches this. Fear reduces when you mentally face uncertainty in advance. This is not negativity, this is preparation. Because what you have already faced in your mind does not feel as scary in real life. That is why strong people don't only visualize success, they also mentally rehearse failure. And when you are prepared, you don't panic, you respond. An important truth: surprise is what creates stress, and anticipation reduces surprise. So ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? And if it happens, what will I do? When you adopt this mindset, you become less emotionally fragile and more mentally grounded. And that is what keeps you stable in unpredictable situations. Chapter 20: The Art of Acquiescence. The biggest struggle in life is not that something bad is happening. It is that we are unable to accept it. We keep fighting reality. This shouldn't have happened. Why me? And in this resistance, we suffer even more. The core lesson of this chapter is, some things are not in your control. Accepting them is freedom. This is called acquiescence. It does not mean surrender. It means clearly seeing reality and stopping the fight against it. Think about it. It is raining, and you keep saying this shouldn't be happening, but the rain will not stop because of your complaint. However, if you accept it, you can decide your next step. Stoic mindset teaches this. Resisting what cannot be changed is a waste of energy. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is clarity. Because when you accept reality, you become emotionally free. And when you are free, you make better decisions. Most people waste energy fighting the past, but strong people handle the present. And an important truth: resistance doubles the pain, but acceptance makes pain manageable. So remember, if something is not in your control, stop fighting it and start understanding it. Because when you accept, you are not broken, you become stable. Chapter 21: Love Everything That Happens. Most people in life only want to accept good things, but when something bad happens, they resist it, complain, and break down. But there is a higher mindset, not just accepting everything, but embracing everything. The core idea of this chapter is amor fati, which means love everything that happens. Think about it. A setback comes in your life. You can see it as a curse and suffer, or you can see it as a turning point and grow. Same event, completely different outcome. Stoic thinking teaches this. Everything that happens to you has something useful inside it. We often think this shouldn't have happened, but if it has already happened, fighting it is just a waste of energy. A better approach is, how can I use this situation? And when you adopt this mindset, you stop being a victim and become a learner. Every failure stops breaking you and starts building you. Every delay stops stopping you and starts redirecting you. And this is the difference between a weak and strong mindset. A weak mindset says, this is wrong. A strong mindset says, how can this be useful for me? When you learn to use every situation, nothing in your life feels wasted. And when nothing is wasted, everything becomes growth. So remember, don't resist life, align with it. Because when you embrace everything, you stay strong in every situation. Chapter 22: Perseverance. The hardest phase in life is not when you start. It is when you keep trying continuously, but results are not visible. This is where most people stop. The core lesson of this chapter is, When everything is against you, you still do not stop. That is perseverance. Think about it. You have been working hard for a long time for a goal, but progress feels slow or not visible at all. At such times, the mind says, maybe this is not going to work. But the truth is, growth is often invisible until it suddenly becomes visible. Stoic mindset teaches this. Results may be slow, but effort must remain constant. Because people who stop in the middle never realize how close they were to a breakthrough. Perseverance is not just about continuing work. It is about standing back up after disappointment. Think about it. You face failure again and again, but each time you improve a little. Those small improvements together create massive change. And an important truth. Success belongs to those who keep trying until the very end. Most people quit when they get tired, but strong people continue even when they are tired. So remember, motivation will disappear, clarity will come sometimes, but perseverance is what takes you to the finish line. And when you do not stop, the world eventually adjusts to your pace. Chapter 22, Perseverance. The hardest phase in life is not when you start. It is when you keep trying continuously, but results are not visible. This is where most people stop. The core lesson of this chapter is, when everything is against you, you still do not stop. That is perseverance. Think about it. You have been working hard for a long time for a goal, but progress feels slow or not visible at all. At such times, the mind says, maybe this is not going to work. But the truth is, growth is often invisible until it suddenly becomes visible. Stoic mindset teaches this. Results may be slow, but effort must remain constant. Because people who stop in the middle never realize how close they were to a breakthrough. Perseverance is not just about continuing work. It is about standing back up after disappointment. Think about it. You face failure again and again, but each time you improve a little. Those small improvements together create massive change. And an important truth. Success belongs to those who keep trying until the very end. Most people quit when they get tired, but strong people continue even when they are tired. So remember, motivation will disappear, clarity will come sometimes, but perseverance is what takes you to the finish line. And when you do not stop, the world eventually adjusts to your pace.
Chapter 23, Something Bigger Than Yourself. Most people in life get stuck inside their own problems, goals, and struggles. And when life becomes all about me, pressure and frustration only increase. The core lesson of this chapter is, when you find a purpose bigger than yourself, you become stronger. Think about it. One person is only thinking about their failure, and another person is thinking about how their work can improve someone else's life. Both have completely different mindsets. Stoic thinking teaches this. When you step out of your ego, you access your real strength. Because when you live only for yourself, even small problems feel huge. But when you work for something bigger than yourself, your personal problems start to feel small. An important truth. Purpose gives you discipline when motivation disappears. Think about it. A soldier is not fighting only for himself. A creator is not working only for personal success. They are working for a larger meaning, and that meaning pushes them forward, even in tough situations. So remember, when life is only about you, you feel weak. But when you connect to something bigger, you become unstoppable. And when you turn your work into purpose, you don't just survive, you contribute.
Chapter 24. Meditate on your mortality. The most uncomfortable truth of life is this, that it is not permanent. But we avoid this reality every day, as if we have infinite time. The core lesson of this chapter is, when you understand your mortality, you truly start living your life. Think about it. If you knew your time was limited, would you stress over small things? Would you waste your energy on unnecessary people and problems? Probably not. Stoic mindset teaches this. Awareness of death does not create fear, it creates clarity. Because when you know time is limited, you stop taking distractions seriously. You only do what actually matters. Most people keep postponing life. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it later. I have time. But the truth is, now is your most valuable moment. That is why remembering mortality does not make you dark. It makes you focused. Because when you see life as temporary, every moment starts to feel meaningful. And an important realization,
People who accept their mortality become fearless because they feel losing less and they gain a stronger sense of living. So remember, life is short, so do not live it half-heartedly. Make every day intentional. Make every action meaningful, because when you understand your mortality, that is when you truly start living.
And that was the complete breakdown of The Obstacle is the Way. If you noticed carefully, one simple pattern repeats in every chapter. See the problem correctly, take action on it, and stay mentally strong in every situation. These 3 things alone can completely transform your life. Now, here's a simple question for you. Are you still seeing your problems as obstacles or as opportunities? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more powerful book breakdowns like this. And don't forget, share this with someone who is currently in a struggle phase. See you in the next video.